30th Annual Congress, Postgraduate Institute of Agriculture, University of Peradeniya. The organizing committee is proud to present the research highlights of the 30th Annual Congress 2018. There will be 28 oral presentations under 7 technical themes, together with 12 poster presentations. Food and nutrition. The effect of pH, temperature and time combinations on yield and degree of esterification of mango peel pectin. A box-Winken design-based statistical modeling. Results of this study suggest that the mango peel from fruit processing industries can be used to produce high or low methoxyl pectin with a degree of esterification which is greater than or lower than 50% by controlling conditions during extraction. The developed model could be used to predict the degree of esterification of mango peel pectin for given conditions. Evaluation and comparison of vitamin profiles of selected traditional rice and yams grown in Sri Lanka. This study was designed to evaluate and compare the vitamin composition of selected traditional and improved rice varieties and 4 Dioscorea species commonly grown and consumed in Sri Lanka. Antioxidant potential of selected underutilized fruit crop species grown in Sri Lanka. Antioxidant properties of 4 underutilized fruit species, namely Diospyros discolor, velvet apple, Alteria campechiana, lavulu or canistel, Philanthus acidus, mulnelli or star gooseberry, and Philanthus emblica, Nelly or Indian gooseberry, were investigated. The results revealed that these underutilized fruit crops can be used as a source of natural antioxidants and vitamin C. Millet phenolics as natural antioxidants in food model systems and human LDL and VLDL cholesterol in vitro. According to the results of this study, millet grains and dissolventized millet phenolic extracts can act as natural sources of antioxidants at different degrees in pork, fish, peanut, and gingerly oil to prevent lipid oxidation during storage. Genetics and plant breeding. Screening of selected rice varieties and advanced breeding lines against iron toxicity under field conditions in the low country wet zone of Sri Lanka. Overall results of this study showed that BG366, BG300, a newly improved rice variety, Madathavalu, a traditional rice variety, BW14820 and BW13-31184 advanced breeding lines were highly tolerant to iron toxicity and therefore could be cultivated in iron toxicity prevailing soils in low country wet zone and used as parental materials in future rice breeding programs in Sri Lanka. Haplotype diversity analysis of bacterial leaf blight resistance gene XA21 in rice. Resistance gene XA21 in rice is known to convey a stable resistance against the causal organism of the bacterial leaf blight. Assessment of XA21 genetic diversity and defining haplotypes are the initial steps towards the identification of haplotypes that associate with desired phenotypes. The investigated haplotypes with truncated proteins could be important in eliciting the function of XA21. Identification of phosphorus-efficient rice cultivars under low phosphorus nutrition through hydroponic-based screening. The objective of this study was to categorize Sri Lankan rice varieties according to their response to phosphorus-deficient conditions. According to the results of studied 48 rice varieties, AT405, BG941, AT307, BG304, BG300 and 8354 are promising rice varieties with higher response to low-level phosphorus supply. Morphological variations of male fruits among 5 accessions in 3 different agro-ecological regions of Sri Lanka. Morphological diversity of the ripened fruits harvested from the 5 selected bale was investigated in 3 fruiting seasons in 2015 to 2017, and the best accessions were identified. Land resource management. Dynamics of nitrifiers in soils of intensively vegetable cultivated areas in Sri Lanka. A study was conducted to assess the activity and abundance of nitrifiers in soils of intensively vegetable grown regions in Sri Lanka. The study highlighted that the measures needed to be taken to mitigate nitrification, as this could lead to the reducing of fertilizer use efficiency and increase risk of groundwater contamination with nitrate. Fertilizer usage and land productivity in intensively cultivated vegetable farming systems in Sri Lanka. An analysis based on a questionnaire survey. The objective of this study was to assess the fertilizer and amendment usage by intensively vegetable cultivating farmers of Sri Lanka and identify the relationship between farmer practices and their productivity. The researchers concluded that site-specific fertilizer best management practices needs to be introduced to intensively cultivating farmers of Sri Lanka in order to increase and sustain their productivity. Analysis of forest cover loss in Vilpattu Forest Complex. A remotely sensed change detection and fragmentation analysis. The analysis revealed that Vilpattu Forest Complex has changed its forest reserves up to 19,524 hectares to other land users within the past 26 years, and about 7.48% of significant impact has happened within the upper Vilpattu forest area. The study also proved that the total forest area is becoming more fragmented than previous, and it will definitely affect the balance of the valuable natural ecosystem of the area. Biomass assessment of floating aquatic plants, Iconia crassipus. A study in the Batticaloa Lagoon, Sri Lanka, using Sentinel-2A satellite images. This study was aimed to develop a relationship between field-measured and satellite-derived biomass that can satisfactorily estimate the spatial distribution of green and dry biomass of the floating aquatic plants in Batticaloa Lagoon. The estimated biomass maps can be used to identify the locations which are affected by the aquatic plants in order to take proper control measures. Germplasm characterization and plant protection. Genetic diversity analysis of Murungakayan rice accessions based on seed morphology and molecular characterization. This study was conducted to assess the genetic diversity and to identify similar groups among the 27 Murungakayan accessions conserved at the Gene Bank at the Plant Genetic Resource Center, Gannorua. The results suggested that microsatellite markers along with morphological data could be used for the identification of the representative set of Murungakayan accessions for systematic conservation and utilization. Diversity analysis of selected Solanum species in Sri Lanka using molecular and conventional descriptors. This is a study that is aimed at accurate identification of 4 Solanum species found in Sri Lanka via the chloroplast marker-based DNA barcoding strategies combined with a complete morphological survey. Pink wax scale, Ceroplasts rubens, a growing threat to agriculture in Sri Lanka. A field survey was conducted in 3 districts, Gampa, Kalutara and Kandy from July 2017 to August 2018 to identify the wax-scale species causing the recent outbreaks and to record its distribution and host range. Molecular identification of Fusarium species from wilt-infected tomato and brinjal plants in selected regions of Sri Lanka and endophytic bacteria as a potential option for disease management. The study was carried out to identify Fusarium isolates infecting tomato and brinjal and endophytic antagonist bacteria against Fusarium wilt pathogens. Characterization of cassava or Manihot esculenta crans cultivars in Sri Lanka using morphological, molecular and organoleptic parameters. This study was conducted to study the morphological and genetic diversity and assess the consumer preference of cassava cultivars grown in Sri Lanka. The genetic diversity was assessed by sequencing and analyzing the ITS, a DNA barcoding locus. Agricultural engineering and material sciences. Extraction and characterization of bio-based polymeric materials from traditional rice varieties in Sri Lanka. This study is suggesting a more convenient approach to isolate a bio-based polymer cellulose using rice straw as a source of extraction. This is a sustainable means of replacing synthetic material with plant-based substances while providing a solution for the local agricultural waste management problem. Investigation of mechanical properties of nanocellulose reinforced synthetic polymer composite. This study discusses the surface modification of nanofibrillated cellulose NFC using silane coupling agent Si69 and fabrication of silated NFC reinforced polypropylene composites with different loadings of NFC from 0 to 5 weight percentage by adding 0.5 weight percentage per sample. Performance evaluation of a downdraft double chamber pyrolysis reactor using field conditions. This study is aimed to evaluate a small-scale pyrolysis unit, downdraft double chamber pyrolysis reactor, to be used in continuous biochar production with the use of paddy husk as both the feedstock and the fuel material. Development of mathematical procedure for controlling airflow rate in tea withering. A control system was developed for optimizing the electrical energy consumption while assuring the required quality of withered tea leaves. The newly developed system was able to save 39% of electrical energy compared to the conventional withering. Changes in structural and chemical properties of rice husk biochar co-pyrolized with Epavela rock phosphate under different temperatures. This experiment was conducted to determine the effect of temperature on properties of RHB co-pyrolized with Epavela rock phosphate or ERP. The researchers concluded that chemical properties of RHB can be improved by co-pyrolizing rice husk with Epavela rock phosphate. Animal science and fisheries. Screening milk for bovine tuberculosis in dairy farms in Central Province, Sri Lanka. Bovine tuberculosis is a chronic bacterial disease caused by Mycobacterium bovis. It can be transmitted to humans through direct contact with infected cattle or consumption of unpasteurized milk and milk products. The results revealed that the milk samples collected from the 3 large-scale dairy farms in the Central Province of Sri Lanka did not contain Mycobacterium bovis. Preliminary evaluation of probiotic potential of yeasts isolated from bovine milk and curd of Sri Lanka. This study was carried out to screen and identify potential probiotic yeasts from selected dairy sources available in Sri Lanka. The strain confirmation and in vitro and in vivo safety assessment of the identified isolates will further verify their suitability as probiotic starter cultures to be used in local food and pharmaceutical industries. Performance of Macrobrachium rosenbergii in perennial reservoirs. A comparative assessment of fisheries in 5 perennial reservoirs in the northern province of Sri Lanka. The results showed that the introduction of the Macrobrachium rosenbergii as culture-based fisheries or CBF in the selected 5 reservoirs has achieved considerable success, particularly in terms of economic benefits. Agricultural economics and extension. Factors associated with illegal fishing practices in 3 perennial reservoirs in Sri Lanka. The results revealed that the characteristics of fishers such as frequent consumption of alcohol, non-willingness to organize into a fishery society, and non-compliance with fisheries regulations was significantly associated with the engagement in illegal fishing in all 3 reservoirs. Labor migration and impact of remittances on poverty and income inequality. Evidence from estate sector of Sri Lanka. Results revealed that internal and international remittances reduced poverty incidence by 2.14% and 2.32%, depth of poverty by 1.33% and 0.98%, severity of poverty by 0.63% and 0.48% respectively. Results further suggest that income inequality is getting slightly decreased due to internal and international remittances. Influence of users' technology readiness on the perceived value of mobile phone-enabled internet services. The study concluded that the user's technology readiness has a positive influence on epistemic value and a negative influence on economic value. Poster presentations. Success in captive breeding of Pseudochromis friedmani or Red Sea orchid dottyback in Sri Lanka. Adaptability of Dolichos bean, Lablab purpurus recombinant inbred lines or RILs across locations representing eastern and southern dry zones of Karnataka. Effect of fruiting habit traits on fruit yield and its contributing traits in chili, capsicum annum. Algal dominance and impacts of tourism on coral reefs in Casuarina Beach, Karenagar Island, Jaffna Peninsula, Sri Lanka. Impact of glass ceiling on women's career development in non-state banking sector in Colombo. Mineral contents of Sri Lankan rice varieties grown in Bathalagoda as affected by inorganic fertilization. Degradation of unplasticized polyvinyl chloride-based engineering products upon exposure to ultraviolet radiation. Harvest majority affects post-harvest quality of lime fruits, Citrus aurantifolia swingle. Do price subsidies lead to over-application of fertilizer? An analysis of the Ketata Aruna program of Sri Lanka. Determination of optimum nitrogen concentrations in hydroponics for tomato grown in coir medium in tropical greenhouse. An approach to enhance the dietary nutrient intake of pregnant women in Sri Lanka. A booklet of dietary guidelines and menus for pregnancy. Effect of seaweed extract Cappaficus alvarezi on the growth, yield and nutrient uptake of leafy vegetable Amaranthus polygamous under salt stress condition in Jaffna, Sri Lanka. The measure of greatness in a scientific idea is the extent to which it stimulates thought and opens up new lines of research. Paul Dirac. You're all welcome to the technical sessions. Thank you.